promises is what they hear.
Yes, indeed. Of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry. I thought, well, from the music alone, you would know that it is about total grassroots. It is about, of course, examining critically not only the moral and ethical and the pretense of machoism and the virility announced by, of course, members of this government, but also to look at the policies and programs that would have, of course, not just encourage, not just motivate, not just satisfy, not just facilitate, not just make possible poverty and more poverty. Let's hear singing, Sandra.
Just hold it head on ball, and them woman stronger than a wall. A big pusher eyeing she daughter, son in jail for manslaughter. Too bad for he name bad boys, no bail. That's the black man's choice. Like Shadow say, poverty is hell. She little girl child belly start to swell. Some say life is a cycle, but don't draw she no circle. Where will it all end? Only time will tell. Outside the siren keep howling, inside your belly ring growling. Police raid very often, Simpson measuring a coffin. One night in bed you're sleeping, next night is a wake that you're keeping. So you're praying to win the lotto, not to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying. Hear them pleading. Crying. Voices from the ghetto. Forgotten people. Hear our prayer. With dented pride they soldier on. Revolutions based politicians born. And often their tragic story brings a journalist glory. No wonder they view the world with scorn. From since the day they born, some call them rebels without a cause. These social victims of unjust laws, but yet they christen the heroes, renegades, desperados, forever knocking on heaven's doors. Hear me? Steel band music shatters the silence. Harmony to conquer the violence. Big men run when cops approach, fighting for scraps with the cockroach. Young Turks, they're tough protecting almost every young girl expecting. So tomorrow beds still a borrow, there'll be another voice from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying.
Yes, people, of course, we are engaging, of course, the impromptu, of course, call to someone that we believe can assist us with the issues of the day. And so I'm going to disclose who I was calling earlier, but let me try again and see whether or not I will get an answer. A pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, South, South, Central, or President Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming them on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. I want to apologize, of course, for not being on the ground report this morning, but it was due to circumstances beyond my control. As you know, people like myself will not only be in demand, But of course, as one person, you cannot be ubiquitous. You cannot be here, there, and everywhere. You're not, of course, have a omnipresent feature or ability. In other words, you're not like Jesus Christ. And therefore, as a human being, I can only be one place at any one time. But that being as it may, a pleasant good night to all and sundry once again, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, a pleasant good day to you. I'm trying to get, of course, a call out, as I promised, as we begin the program, so enjoy. Well, once again, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry. The numbers I've been trying to, the persons I'm trying to get at the numbers that I would have been calling would have been, of course, Dave Tanku was the last one. I'm going to try that again. And, of course, I tried Wade Mark and I tried, of course, Munilal. But, of course, I've not gotten them. Of course, remember, these calls are not prearranged. They are impromptu, and depending on the availability at that particular time, because of course we have to accept that it is dinner time for most people at this time, if not earlier, but certainly if not dinner, well, of course they're taking a well-earned rest, I'm sure, or preparation for well-earned rest. But that being as it may, we cannot rest. We have a job and responsibility. And if I'm going to try one more time, and then of course we'll get on with the program, because I have a bumper program for you as per usual. And of course I am saying to you that the moral and ethical standards of this government and the hypocrisy of Dr. Rowley must be exposed, and all of them, because of course it's clear that it was a conspirators agenda, conspirators, despicable, heinous, wicked, and of course reprehensible act for the cabinet to of course come together and in order to save Dr. Rowley from certain investigation with respect to the fake oil. They decided, of course, impromptu, almost a sort of knee-jerk response, almost what is considered to be a capricious attempt to save Dr. Rowley, and in the process jeopardize Trinidad and Tobago in more ways than one. The economy, of course, we are being told now that the country doesn't have money, even though, of course, we were regaled with, of course, all kinds of niceties. The central bank doesn't want to answer any question. Excuse me. As far as the missing tree, and then it morphed to $2 billion is concerned, but that is still there. And of course, we have a situation where the government is making excuses after excuses. After all, it is about hoodwinking, is about deceiving, and of course, this government has proven to have a bottomless pit of lies, deception, and all kinds of shenanigans in order not to deliver the truth in a democracy that speaks to, of course, transparency, accountability, and the principle of government by the people, of the people, and for the people. Let's try one more time, and then of course we go straight, of course, to the matter before us at this point in time. Yes, indeed. I'm trying to get to Dave Tanko again. So I can tell you that up front now. And after that, of course, I'll open up the lines if we don't get the benefit of Dave Tanko's intervention. But let us, at the same time, acknowledge the stress, the pain, the agony, and the decadence that the Rowley administration has perpetrated on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, indeed. All right, but the lines are open. Don't forget to share. Don't forget, of course, to tell a friend. Let the friend tell the other friend. And, of course, we will be on other platforms pretty soon. So you can rest assured. And we are going to, of course, explore every opportunity to make certain in this election season that you get the best information. That is all we ask. To deliver the best information so that you can make the best choice, and you will at the end of the day recognize the best choice is Kamala Prasad-Bissessar under the UNC. There is no doubt about it, and it must gravitate towards unanimity instead of course majority of the population, and in particular the electorate.
Vacancy, no employment. Cattle fire cracker from gunshot. Blood does flow when things get hot. Afraid to look out the window. You hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying. Voices from the ghetto. From the ghetto, help us, Father. Oh, Lord. Mothers just hold their head on ball, and them woman stronger.
Hello, good night. Hello. Good night. Is this Senator Wade Mark?
Speaking.
Yes, this is LENNOX Smith here on the Corridor Transformation. Corridor Transformation, is a nightly program from 8 to 9. I know that we do not, of course, pre-arrange this. We do it impromptu. And last night we had, of course, Jillian John, caught by surprise as well. But the people like you who are seasoned, it is not a surprise, but certainly, of course, can respond as a Boy Scout would in your particular case. I just want to ask if you have a little time so that, not too long, I know that is almost bedtime or just after, should I say dinner, but the job has to go on. It's an election period, and we need, of course, to tell the people to make the best choice. They must, of course, stay tuned to relevance, and they must stay tuned to those who have the information. And, of course, I almost say doctor, but if I say Dr. Wade Mark, I don't think anybody would argue with that. But that being as it may, so have you some time? Have you a little time?
Yes. LENNOX. I'm very sorry about tonight, and the reason why I'm in South at the not South Central.
Okay.
We have a meeting down there, and
all
I
right.
should be. In fact, I was there from 2 o'clock.
All right.
And I should be here until maybe about 10.
All right.
So I'm not in a position to speak in the way that I would like
all
to
right.
speak. But if you if you put me on notice, I could try to make myself available tomorrow.
Oh, great. No. I accept because, of course, that is the alternative to being impromptu. And the prospects of having a response like this is appreciated and is accepted because, I mean, let's face it, I did not pre-warn. So thank you very much, of course, for still making yourself available tomorrow night. So I'll call you around 8 o'clock tomorrow night. All right?
Excellent.
Okay,
Excellent.
Good. So thanks very much at least for taking our call. All right, on the corridor transformation.
No problem, Lennox.
Yes, my friend.
My
Bye-bye.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes, and have a wonderful one. And I know that victory is assured, but the proof of the pudding is always in the of course, the final day, the election day. So therefore, we have to do all what is required to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay then. So see you tomorrow night.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Good, man. Bye.
Okay, people. Well, of course, we had Senator Wade Mark, of course, Tower of Power. Well, I'll get an opportunity, of course, to put up his name appropriately and all of that last night. I had to, of course, ask my colleagues to assist me in making sure that we get everything all right in a impromptu scenario, in a unplanned scenario. All kinds of variables may come into play, and this, of course, tonight is one of them. And I'm very appreciative, of course, as you would have heard that Wade Mark said that he will make himself available tomorrow night. So that is a planned coming out of this unplanned scenario. Let me just take one more, which it means, therefore, Dave Tanku may well be, of course, in that meeting as well. But let me try him, and then, of course, we will get into the substance of our discussion tonight. It's very important that, of course, we get every. Somebody said today I was on a radio program, a television program, a radio program, after I was at a television program on TTT this morning, and I used the word modicum, and somebody called in and said, well, listen, I learned a new word, modicum, and then the host in the studio said, that voice was sounding familiar, but I didn't put a face to it, but now I put a face to it. That is Lennox Smith, the big word man. So, like, the word is getting around that seemed to be my new, what I consider to be pseudonym, name that I wasn't given at the christening. But of course, people would see certain qualities and therefore, of course, make certain conclusions, and then, of course, identify symbolically and otherwise. And of course, symbolism is also associated with speaking, because speaking is really symbols in motion. So, of course, a gift to human beings. No other class of animal on earth has the gift of speech, and that is why we are so progressive. One of the reasons why we are so progressive as human beings, because we can communicate. Remember, of course, the tower, notwithstanding the Tower of Babel, when, of course, people were trying to reach God by building a tower, and of course, he then, of course, confused them and had them speaking in all kinds of different language, so that they remain not focused on getting to heaven, but getting to do the things on earth for which humankind was, of course, designated and created for. That being as it may, of course, let me just, as I said, try this one, and then I will cease doing it, because we have an assurance for tomorrow, but of course none for today as yet. And let me see if Tanku may well be on his way to the same meeting, because of course it is about elections, it is about getting there, it is about making certain that the UNC is the party safe and solid, sound and determined to, of course, form government, because it is simply the right thing to do. And it is in that context, people like myself, the Ground Report, Andy, Mikey, and others across the various platforms will certainly be focusing and making certain that we do right to all manner of individuals in Trinidad and outside of Trinidad. That being as it may, of course, that has run out. So we are going to, we're going to leave it there. We know that we will get we will get Waymark tomorrow, Senator Waymark, Tower of Power. But I'm tempted, I don't like to give up, so I'm tempted to try another one just to make certain that I have done all that I could in an attempt, of course, to get the best of tonight's presentation. I am trying to get a particular name here. What's his name, boy? Bear with me. But in the meantime, of course, you can call. I have no difficulty with that. You can call. Let me see if I can get to this individual and see what's happening here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Of course, I'm trying to get. Of course, let me tell you one time, Jayanti Lakshmidial. Of course, another female power in the house. I think when she enters the chamber, those on the PNM cannot predict what she will come with, but always ready. Like Freddie, well, in this case, of course, like a girl's guide. In this particular case, of course, senator. She is a senator, and frontline, of course, spokesperson for and on behalf of the UNC, but articulates a lot of issues that are significant to us at this point in time. Now let us see if we can get her. If we cannot, well, of course, I will try one more, and then I will say yes. I've tried my utmost to get as much on board as possible. Yes, indeed. I'm not going to give up at all. Yes, indeed. So there you have it. We are trying our best to see if we could get at least one person tonight to talk to. As I said, it is impromptu. It is not prescript. It is not preordained. It is not done by organization. Let me put it that way. But it is by impromptu. It is by just calling and hoping that we get a response from anyone that we believe can assist us on the corridor transformation in, of course, throwing light on some of the issues that we would have been subjected to, and we hold no apology. We make no apology for being impromptu and the hour of the day, etc., etc. No one should feel that they are unreachable or they are above the grain of the ordinary person wanting to get information which they would have in their bosom, and not, of course, share with us because of some, I will go as far as to say, domestic issue. That's to tell you how I feel strongly about doing the people's work, getting the information out there to do the right thing by you, the electorate, when the time comes, and to get rid of this albatross, this criminal enterprise called the PNM, of course, populated by pure and unadulterated political as well as natural criminals. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Well, okay, I was trying to get Senator Naked. He seemed to be, possibly might have been on his way to the same meeting as well. Okay, so I think I should pause. I should cease, of course, trying to get someone, and let's get down to business. Of course, the lines are open, people. 337-6940. 337-6940. We take your calls immediately. Yes, indeed. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Pleasant good night, Mr. Lennox.
Yes, good night to you, my friend.
And pleasant good night to the right-thinking citizens of this beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, man.
Mr. Lennox.
Hey.
I realize I realizing like a kind of racket thing running because the report laid in the parliament on the Auditor General report, right?
Yes.
How Imbert kind of shy way, how somebody else in the front bench, the Prime Minister, which is really taking place in the parliament.
Well, it is about obfuscation. It's about the blame game. It's about shifting responsibility. But they were questionably elected. And when it is convenient, however, like when they had to get their paychecks, and when they had to get their kickbacks, and when they have, of course, to project fantasies of development that does not exist, then we know that that is not only a game they are playing, but that the responsibility rests with them, no one else. They could try to deflect, they could try to the blame game on others, of course, but they are the ones in the front seat and are the steering of this country and have steered us, of course, to disaster, ache, pain, and agony. And we must remain focused there. All of that shenanigan is to, of course, try to deflect attention away from themselves. A bunch of indolence, incompetence, and criminals, miscreants, led by, of course, a supreme miscreant, Keith Christopher Rowley. Go ahead, my friend.
And I want to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I am talking to the right-thinking citizens, right?
Yeah.
I want to tell them, right now, our country has no vessel to patrol our coastline. We have no vessel protecting the coastline. So anything want to enter Trinidad could come. Because as far as I understand, Phil Gerald Swine told that the boat could be ready, I think it's as a couple of months.
14.
So he also give information to the criminals that you could do what you want until such time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how people taking it. This is a very serious matter when we have no vessels to patrol our coastline. I don't know how serious people taking it, but this is very serious because what it is happening in our country is that causing the crime to escalate.
Yeah.
Because they're bringing what they want, they're doing what they want. According to a guy, a Venezuelan could come up with a party here and go back out without being stop checked for passport, nothing.
Yep.
And this is the rate that this administration is taking our beloved Trinidad and Tobago down the road that if we continue like this, it wouldn't have no coming back. But we have people like Mr. Lennox, who is taking this time that he could be doing something else, enjoying the best of it, and he taking the time to fight to make Trinidad a better place with the help of the other colleagues that we have and our historical party, the United National Congress. So I want people to understand, do not take God out of all your thoughts and just think about voting for the PNM. Because a man say when he go to vote, something just tell him, and he just dip in the ink for the PNM. I don't think that will affect them now, based on what we are seeing under this in this country. We have a prime minister came out some months ago tell us, do not blame he for what is taking place in the crime. And then we have a man that they call Phil Gerald Swine tell us his job is not to make us feel safe. And that's the Prime Minister and the National Minister of Security. Well, the outgoing Prime Minister and the outgoing National Minister of Security. Because them gone already, you know. They're just waiting out the time. So I just want the citizens to know, please only take all the time, watch all the scene what's going on. It in my face, it's glaring. Do not take no more chance with all your future and all your children's future. Under this administration, where it's outgoing, and they do enough damage, and they're still trying to do more damage. But God is looking at them, and He will act in the appropriate time when it's to act. So if Rowley and them feel they get away, timing is everything. Mr. Lennox, You have a blessed and wonderful night. It'll be a pleasure to hear you on the evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Of course, it's a pleasure, of course, to be able to be blessed with, of course, the power of speech and the ability, of course, to articulate. Yes, indeed. So I'm putting up a video at this point in time because I think Trinidad and Tobago, I mean, we have to be shocked into recognizing, because there are some people who are like that. They must be shocked out of their wits. Let's go to the line. Let's go to the line. Yes, indeed. Let's go to the line. But I want you to be shocked out of your wits tonight to see what people are capable of doing in Trinidad and Tobago. But that being as may, a pleasant good night. Welcome. Pleasant good night. Welcome. Pleasant good night. Missed that one? Lost that one? Pleasant good night. All right. Going once, going twice, gone. Yes, indeed. People, I want you to be shocked out of your wits tonight, you know, because it is unacceptable, it is horrendous, it is bizarre, it is harrowing. Let's go to the lines. Let's go again. A pleasant good night, welcome. Pleasant good night, welcome. What's happening there, boy? Something is going wrong. I'm seeing, of course, I'm engaging, but I'm not hearing. A pleasant good night. Let me make sure that I did not do something inadvertently. All right, let me just make sure. All right. A pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yep. You hear me, Lennox?
Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Yes, I hear you.
All right. So it means that it's not in studio. Let's go again. You're hearing it on the...
I hear you.
No, if I press this, I will be taking it off. Let's try again. All right. Let me take it. All right. So I have two now. Yeah, all right, let me take it here. Pleasant good night, welcome.
I hear you, Lennox.
Pleasant good night,
You hear
welcome.
me? Hello.
All right, there's something maybe going wrong. I'm going to take it on the handset on the next occasion because it appears to be the same call. I doubt someone is attempting to be mischievous at this crucial juncture of Trinidad and Tobago and the very important, of course, messages that we carry. Somebody is there? Pleasant good night. No, it's yes, indeed. All right. Well, that be as me. Let me just continue with what I had planned to do, to share this video with you, because it is harrowing as it is. I mean, simply inexplicable. It is gruesome. It is awful. Let's go to the lines. Pleasant good night. Let me see if we have a better situation now. Pleasant good night
to you, Mr. Lennox. A pleasant good night to you.
Pleasant good night. This is a regular caller.
Good night to you, Mr. Lennox.
I know that for sure. Pleasant good night.
Good night
Good
to you,
night.
Mr. Lennox. Good night.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Right, so you were going on. The person was trying to call you, right?
Who?
Apparently, whoever it is was trying to call it just now. You're hearing them telling you over on my TV. The person said they're hearing you, but you not hearing them for whatever reason.
All right. Okay. Good. Well, thanks for that. So I will make the necessary adjustments in studio. All right. Thanks very much for that. We have a quality assurance persons. Let me see why that is happening. This is ought not to happen at this stage. Let me see why is it happening. Why is it happening? Where is it happening? Let me. Oh yes, yes. I understand why now. Okay. Thank you very much, caller, for that that intervention. All right, I think we got the problem solved. It's a good thing I'm a fast learner, so it took me some time, but I'm able, of course, to do my own technical adjustments to the should I say the setup that is here in studio. With all of the various devices and all of the various apps that you have to tweak from time to time. So call again and let me see if she's here now. A pleasant good night.
A pleasant good night to you, Mr.
Ah, right. Finally, my friend. A pleasant good night to you.
All right.
Yes.
So a pleasant good night to you and all your listeners.
Yes.
And share.
Yes, share, people. Share. That is important. Share, please. Share. Yeah. Make your contribution, yes.
So, right. So, Mr. Lennox, the time now to be brutal is here. So, I just want to ask Mr. Foster Cummins, right?
Yeah.
How to go about, because I have a piece of NHA property I buy from some friends, right?
Right.
And I want to convert it into a 4-story building to open my little business.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to ask him how I go about getting that paperwork to convert it to a commercial. So maybe you might be able to help me to get through, because I understand somebody say he might have the experience in that field.
Right.
So, and the next thing I know too, I would like to ask
Look,
Dr. Keith Rowley, what about the ring report what you have on top of the desk? That if he in medical, what he want to do in Brooklyn, that if you when he come back, you come with a corrective lens, so you might be able to see the report to push it forward. So I just asking about the report, and I see like Nike Industries and that whole scenario. I see I show you the cemetery there, like it's somewhere up in the cemetery there, because they're buried or on that set of squandermania. Because we're asking all these things about the ministers and them, because I noticed now they are out in the public domain saying things which is not adding up to the things they're supposed to get done. Because
you get the casket?
Foster Cummins, right, had spent $28 million on a youth camp down in South in Chatham there. And I wondered how fight reach and how much youths it trained. Because you have a psychic on the ground report. He have pre-ejaculation problem. Because anytime anybody talk, he just come in quick. Just come real fast to talk.
I hear you.
I would like to find out these questions. So, and the next thing I would like to say to all the listeners, make sure that we check we ID card and listen for when they call out to call, when the roll is called a pianda. We're going to visit and sing praise and worship by the EBC. We just waited on a date to say when we will gather in praise and worship. Have a good night, Mr. Lennox.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I may call back a little later.
I would appreciate that, man. I would appreciate that. People, I thought I should put up this very graphic video because it is unprecedented. It is harrowing. It is disturbing. And if I disturb you tonight, then I would have achieved my objective, because that is exactly what I would want to do. Imagine the state of crime and criminality has come to Trinidad and Tobago, where A grave. Yeah, a grave was exhumed. And the body was burnt. The dead body was burnt. Look at there. I'm leaving it up. Tonight, we have to face the reality what that is Trinidad and Tobago today. Pleasant good night to welcome.
A pleasant good night to you, Lennox, and to everybody out here.
Yes, indeed.
Lennox,
Hey.
you were missed this morning.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Everything okay?
Yes. Sorry about that. I had 2 engagements this morning that took me way past 9 o'clock. So, but I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow morning. Yes.
Right. It's glad to know that everything was okay.
Yes.
Lennox, our country is in a crisis.
Yes.
Our streets are washed in blood. Some citizens don't know where to turn, what to do, right? But what is important to some people is correcting your English.
Yes.
That is what is important to some people, correcting your English. Not the things that Rowley and them doing,
Yes.
right? But correcting your English. That is what is important. Some people is really, really sickening me. Like they just come on your live to listen to what you have to say,
right,
and critique it. Because
good.
you are the one that running the country, right? You are the one that have the country in a mess. Lennox, look at what we heard this evening. Just came up on my news feed.
Go ahead.
About this mother and her 2 children in Tobago.
Yes.
But to me, from the way it's sounding, right, as though it might be suicide.
Oh my goodness.
Because they said that she was seen walking into the bushes naked with the 2 children. I am asking here tonight, did she talk to anybody? Did anybody know what was going on with this lady? If it's that is so sad, Lennox. I think it's the children are 3 and 1.
Wow.
You know what is that for a mother to take her children's life? Follows her own? Lennox, we don't know what she was probably going through. And she decided, look, this is the only way out. But your English is more important to be corrected.
I wonder.
This place sad, Lennox.
Well, but of course, people would use all kinds of deflections and so on. This is cosmopolitan. Yeah. And I defend the right for someone to speak. But if it is, of course, nonsensical or osseous, irrelevant, then, of course, we just have to take it for what it is and we move on. The fact of the matter is that they sit in armchair in the comfort of their home and, of course, sip a cup of coffee and will not get their feet wet or their hands dirty. And, of course, they would pronounce as to even, of course, the solutions when, in fact, that they are really armchair bystanders who are waiting for others to take the initiative, and then they will parasitically benefit. Yeah. But that is all right. That is the forte of some of us. Yes.
Maybe that's how some of them get their entertainment. Because at the end of the day, people ain't even taking them on.
That's right.
Some people ain't taking them on. But what get me, right? Look at it. What is this thing with his mother?
Wow.
And I say to myself, look at what happened to this lady, but you critiquing Lennox English?
I would love to know the person, and I would love for them to confront me and let us have a debate on the whole question of English grammar, etc.
You see that, right?
And I will be. I'll tell you this too. I will be, of course, hosting during the day, of course, English class, yes, and just to assist those in the C exam and possibly a little higher. So I will be engaged there as well, and of course, those who are able, they can, of course, participate and they have the opportunity to criticize now because, of course, it's a class that deals with grammar and comprehension, etc., sentence construction, and semantics, etc. And then, of course, you'll have a chance to. But a program like this and a program like the Ground Report, certainly we have a certain what is called linguistic license to, of course, go where we were, utilize, of course, local parlance, etc. But when coming to teaching the actual thing, well, of course, we have to say what a verb is, what an adjective is, what's a noun, etc. And of course, I pronounce it in the way because, frankly, English is considered to be in the teaching profession a foreign language. When we were at training college, they told us that the child comes into class with his own language, dialect, etc. And of course, English, the standard English is considered to be a foreign language. Yes, people, many of you may not know that. So just as Spanish, in other words. So, yes, go ahead. I'm just responding to those who you have identified as critique. I assume critique could be positive and negative. I know by now they're probably saying, well, yes, that man who we're talking about.
We just have our fun. We just have our fun with the other big words. Right? And you know, I miss La Hoqueta for that, Lennox. I really, really miss La Hoqueta for that. Right? The big word, man.
Hey,
yes, you and your big words.
You know,
right?
Miss Alacruz, I was on a radio program this morning. That's why I couldn't get on the Ground Report. So, a woman calling only to say that she learned a new word today. So the hosts, two of them, a male and a female, they said, I know that voice, but I couldn't put a face in. Now that the woman says that she learned a word today, I think it was modicum was the word. And they said, it's LENNOX Smith, the big word man. So all you make me somebody who I never thought I would have been considered to be in this dispensation. But that's all right. I revel in all of that. And
because
it's a good thing.
I have my thesaurus. And my dictionary right within arm's reach, right?
Good.
So when you hit me a word, I just try to look it up.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, we just make a little fun here with your big word and all this kind of thing, right?
Of course.
Yeah, but oh God, look at me, look what is going on in the country.
Yeah.
You don't want to listen here anyway, Lennox. Let me move on, eh?
Yeah.
Now I heard.
Just before you go, just before you go, to say that on the program itself, the Ground Report, really, my job is to look at that 33% that are extremely intelligent, academically inclined, and will understand what I'm saying. Andy's job is to reach the grassroots, etc. And Mikey's job is to go anywhere in between. So that is how it has been structured, just for information's sake. But go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. Now, today we are hearing that Donna Cox gave out $3 million in house repair grants.
All right.
I am asking tonight, how many of those recipients did not have a PNM party card?
Yeah.
Because we know Lennox. No, but I know if I go and apply for one of that, I ain't getting it. I'm not getting it.
And if you go the freedom of information route, you certainly ain't going to get any information, because they will say it's personal, people are sensitive, and then you have to threaten ombudsman, and you have to threaten judicial review and all of that. Yeah.
It is taxpayers' money, all they're giving out to people, all they're giving out to all the supporters, because I'm absolutely sure, Lennox.
Yes.
I'm absolutely sure nobody who's not anybody who's not affiliated, well, before they correct me, anybody who is not affiliated to the PNM is not getting any of those grants.
Yeah, and it is blatant.
Because
it is blatant, Mr. Santa Cruz. Yeah. I mean, what could be more conspicuous than suddenly the secretaries in Tobago are being attacked by elements of the state apparatus? What has caused that? Why is it, for example, that the zipline and Tricky Tracy was not subjected to the same kind of Trinidad style invasion to address, of course, infringements of the statutory and other laws that they claim
But
that they have
Lennox,
infringed.
Lennox,
Why?
for
Why?
years we
But
have
go
been
ahead, my friend.
hearing.
Go ahead. Yes, let me hear you.
Yeah, for years we have been hearing about the 20% secretary in Tobago.
Yes.
For years that they have to get a 20% kickback.
Yes.
And one of the secretaries give a person a man to build cupboards, right? I don't know if it's in a public institution or, and when he didn't give her the kickback, he tell her he's not giving it to her, but he got a job because he promised that he was going to give it to her.
And let me ask you a question.
Sorry,
Yeah.
to give it to the,
Yeah.
yeah,
And let me ask you a question there.
was going to, yeah,
Was it the PNM in government at the time?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. Well, right. But
yeah.
nothing. The only reason why that no investigation took place is because there was a PNM THA. Understand that,
Yes.
people? Understand that. Look at these infringements to which, of course, the very learned Santa Cruz has referenced. And because the PNM was in control in Trinidad and in control in Tobago, Tricky Tracy and others were not subjected to any kind of scrutiny.
Right.
None at
But
all.
you see, I get fairly wrong in that. I
But
get
no,
fairly
yes,
wrong
go
in
ahead,
that.
go ahead. Yes. I want the
Fairly should
people to
have
open up their eyes.
investigated all of them.
Yes.
He should have investigated all of them because, I mean, I am not a Tobagonian. I live in Trinidad, and I could have got that information about all the 20% secretaries,
Yes.
right? He and she all, he and she, and when they were not getting the kickback, they couldn't say a word. They couldn't say a word because they know what was going to happen. And why it is that he didn't investigate that? That's one of the things a lot of people get vexed with Farley for. Right? You could expose them for the corrupt people that they were. Expose them. And it's for years we have been hearing about the 20% secretaries and they kick back. But over London, I no shame to talk about Kamala government was the most corrupt. He must say that because look at where he is today.
Mm-hmm.
Look at where Snake Tongue is today. Sitting comfortably as ambassador to, to London or wherever.
London, yes, London, in London. But not only, not only is Farley to be criticized for that kind of complacency in the face of such glaring infringements, but Gary Griffith too.
Yes, yes.
Because they were in the position, and now to come and tell us that you got 45 million to hung down this one and that one is irrelevant. And just as how it will be irrelevant in an election campaign for Farley if something was not done now that you hold the reins of office. And it is clear, once again, that because it was a PNM in the central government and a PNM administration in Tobago, I want to tell Tobagonians and Trinidadians that's the reason why Tricky Tracy and others were not prosecuted, or put another way, as is happening now, persecuted.
Yeah.
Understand that? And it's only because, in other words, PNM is not in power in Tobago, why there's so much harassment and there's so much scrutiny of everything.
And 22 murders.
Yeah.
22 murders.
In Tobago. That's it. So I want Tobagonians to understand to stay steadfast. Trinidadians must now rise to the occasion. Rise to the occasion and tell Rowley and they where to get off. You bunch of conspirators, hypocrites, criminals, and persons who are total and absolute rapscallions and political kobos. Go ahead, my friend.
But Lennox, not only should Farley stay laser focused, we in Trinidad have to stay laser focused as well.
Of course.
Right? We have to tell Gary Griffith, Michaela Pandey and the rest of them to go to hell. They are not good for this country. And the condition that the country is in right now, we don't want to hear anything from them. We don't want to hear anything from them. Because as you rightly said, Gary Griffith had an opportunity and he said it. The information that he had, he could have bring down from the government. We all know now it was hogwash and it was a set of lies. And I'm saying it. It was a set of lies. What has Michaela Pandey done for the last 9 years, right? So what you come to what they're begging they give a chance. Is a blasted raffle? It's like Balize House. This is not the time to take a chance with anybody. If I had seen you doing something for the last 9 years, I would say yes, you can do something. But you have not. All you have been doing was campaigning for the PNM. She was campaigning in Labre. In the not this last general local government, the one before that, with the PNM candidate. She was seen with Brian Manning campaigning with the PNM candidate. And all she played is sucky face with Rowley.
And I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, Miss Santa Cruz. Forgive us, people, but we're having a conversation. She is the external correspondent for the corridor transformation. If we have another call, certainly I know that she would want to use the discussion. But right now, I think the discussion is heading in a very wonderful direction, because doing something, Miss Santa Cruz, as far as Michaela Pandey is concerned, as far as Abdullah and others who claim to have political parties,
and hope,
it's to the minimum is to talk out, and they have not.
Yeah.
They have not done that. Talk out at least. Look, we are talking out tonight, and we do not claim to have political prowess, that political power, that political potency, and we are talking out. How the hell? Even now, they have an opportunity to join us in saying it as it is, and they will not.
Yeah.
And they have been recalcitrant. They have been reluctant. So we know and we understand. Go ahead, my friend. So I thought I should just make these interventions from time to time. Go ahead.
Because everything, all we are hearing, Gary Griffith not talking about what Rowley and I'm doing. Not all he doing is critiquing everything Mrs. Pasabi says to say. Everything. You were the commissioner of police. You were once a commissioner of police. If she is talking about security, she must talk about you. But he finds that she should not say anything about him. Anyway, Lennox, I want to read something for you.
Go ahead, my friend.
Right? This was taken from Keith Rowley Facebook page.
Right.
Monilal builds his career in trying to equate other people with himself. He seems to like $4 million lies.
Well, before you go there, before you go further, was he auditioning for a Larry Joseph show or something like that?
I feel well here Lennox,
because it's something laughable.
Read this.
Yes, go ahead.
When I finish read this, you will know exactly what you're auditioning for.
All right.
Right? Because he had to be the Caribbean clown. He had to be the Caribbean clown.
Yes, go ahead.
It is the same thing he did to me when he and Kamala were building and promoting their fake oil campaign. Right?
Right.
Again, against me and Nizam Bash of ANV Drilling. The press lapped it up and never asked any pertinent questions to unravel this foolishness. He told the parliament then that he did his research and followed the finance to a bank in Florida and located $4 million that AV gave to me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This was the most disgraceful hearing. This was the most disgraceful and damaging lie placed under the parliamentary privileges. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
This was the most disgraceful and damaging lie placed under the parliamentary privileges. I had no recourse except to express disgust, denial and disgust. He praised it when he said, sorry, Lennox, the paper was flying.
Okay.
When he did his research, it did not add up. He confused and he confessed his slander to the media outside of Parliament. The damn paper only flying up. Yeah, outside of Parliament. And I promptly sued his the wicked lying wretch.
Yeah.
Right? When he said, but I can't remember Monilal admitting to slandering Rowdy, but we know how Rowdy does lie. We know he does lie. And he promptly sued his that wicked lying wretch. Who was it, the wicked lying wretch with the email? Anyway, let me move on. They do this constantly, especially Monilal, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and Wayne Mark. In this case, instead of encouraging these young people to do these good things, he jumped to destroy reputation with lies. I trust that he will be made to acknowledge his lies and disgusting political style. Lennox, who have a more disgusting political style than Keith Rowley? Keith Rowley talking about Monilal should teach the youths. What was he teaching the youths in the dead high car park in St. Augustine about raping with umbrellas and opening it in the victim? Keith Rowley have no moral authority to talk about anybody. This man is a chronic liar. You lied about everything. You lied about the email. You lied about Section 34. You lied about Derek Chin. You lied about the facial recognition software. You lied about the cost of the highway and the money that all they get back. It was from one lie after the next. And he talking about this now. He talking about this and Monilal. But Lennox, you remembered, because I raised it this morning. I said, I know if you was there, you would have remembered when his cousin said he got an email from A&V Drilling and he didn't know anything about it.
Yes, that was very, very public. That was public. That was at the time a very current issue. I'm gonna tell you, we in the ground report team, we did a sting operation on that same very fella, and ultimately we had to meet at rituals in Shogunas, but he never turned up. Like he smelled the rat. Yeah, but it was about that money that was wired to him, and said that it wasn't his, and that Rowley of course claimed that it could have been another Rowley, and so between them. And he, of course, staying out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, and not in the public glare, we weren't able to get the benefit of his side of the story simply because he was made to disappear. Something like the fellow who doctored the invoices for AV oil on the Petrotrin side. I'm talking about dual kissing. That's him. He disappeared. We can't find him at all.
Yeah, he was measuring the oil for them.
Yes.
Right? But Lennox, he said the media investigated it. He's lying. It's Mark Bassant. Mark Bassant took one day where Monilal took weeks, right, to get this information. Mark Bassant took one day and Mark Bassant came up with it that it was real. And after that, you never hear about Mark Bassant again.
Yes, that's what they do.
You see, these journalists and them just allow Rowley to get away with his nonsense. But let me tell you something, Lennox, before I go here tonight, right? Evil don't last forever, you know.
Of course not.
Evil don't last forever.
We saw it with Hitler, we saw it with Mussolini, we saw it with Saddam Hussein.
It is going to come to an end soon.
And we will see it with Maduro as well. Yeah.
Yeah. You understand? Anyway, Lennox, it was so nice.
Yes. I really enjoyed this.
Out of the way.
Yes.
You take care and have a good night.
Yes, people. I trust that people recognize that we are not fools, and maybe we are acting vicariously. The caller who, of course, want to learn something, we'll have him take out his thesaurus or his dictionary and of course get some lexiconic additions to his vocab, put it that way. But the point I am making is that if we are not careful, we could fall victim to Rowley and they sidekicking, gaslighting, hoodwinking, deceptions, and cacophonous babblings. Yes, that is what it is. And I'm going to say something after this call to, of course, reinforce that fact. A pleasant good night. Welcome. Pleasant good night. Welcome. What happened here, boy? Oh, let me see something. Something is wrong here. But let's go. Let me see what's happening. A pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Something is wrong here. All right, callers, call back. I see 2 calls on the handheld set that was handed to me. So we have 2 systems, people operating, one on the computer side of things and one on a handheld smartphone. So whichever it is, we try to, of course, engage. All right, let's see from the system itself. Pleasant good night, welcome. Pleasant good night, welcome.
Hi, good night, Mr. Lennox.
Yes, good night to you.
Hello.
Yes, good night to you.
Yeah, good night to you, Mr. Lennox.
Yes.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Lennox. Listen, you know Hitler was the Chancellor of Germany back there and then, right? During World War II. So Germany had Hitler, right?
Right.
And Trinidad and Tobago end up with a
Mr. Tobago, just hold on, please. Okay. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I was saying that Germany,
yes,
right? They had a chancellor, and they got that in the person of Hitler. And Trinidad and Tobago, well, we got a Hitler, right?
I like you.
You know, today, right? On TikTok, somebody make an interesting comment, and the comment is this: that if it was mandatory for elections, that you would have to get 3 passes to vote, 3 CXC passes to vote. We would have a PNM, you know.
I think that is that speaks to the level of intellectual decadence that seem to be idiosyncratic of the PNM callers, because
it's laughable too.
They seem to have lost it all entirely. And the thing about it is, I'm glad you raised that point. Let's have a conversation, because that is where we have to go, so that by doing that we share with others and they glean some additional information. I was thinking the other day that the fella who is calling himself Mr. Port of Spain, for example, he brought up, of course, the issue, I think, about 2 of them. One was the houses that he said they couldn't find, but were in fact identified and found. I'm talking about the 106 schools, that was constructed.
Schools that are Mr.
Yes. But the thing about it is that they seem to have a time lag, because whilst Rowley would have, of course, raised that issue, and then, of course, it having been resolved, being responded to by the opposition, they found the 106 schools. These fellas, these sycophants, and like Paul Spende, they're still beating that as if there is some time lag, as if they in some time warp, as if they are in a state of anachronism, where they seem to be harping on the past, whilst Rowley and them go. And I'm saying so because Rowley then remain silent on the matter. That is their modus operandi. When they are found out, they remain silent. You see, like how Munilal would have made a mistake. They don't see it as a mistake. They then, of course, capitalize on that as for political survivability in this particular case, and of course to get some political currency. Simple things like the Train 1. That nitrogen plant, Train 1, for example. When Lee said when Lee said is 6 million. Sorry, 600 million. They made a point that it was 200 million, and that is the ethos, that is the center, that is the centripetal force that they use to say not that you shouldn't spend a cent on it, but that no, it's not 6 million. It's not 600 million, it's 200 million. And we should be hoodwinked by that. It's only a fool would respond to that and see that as the new rationale to absolve their profligacy waste and the fact that that money should not have been spent there and should have been spent on laptops and, of course, food for the children and jobs for them. But go ahead, my friend.
Oh, yeah, but Mr. Knox, listen, after listening to Auntie Kamala read out that list of $11 billion wasted, you understand? I mean, they are speaking about the electricity situation and the $4 billion that they're asking us to pay, right? So I mean, where are we going with this? Because all they just waste us of that money and thief us of that money, right? That it is alleged, and these people and them carrying on with the decadence and the evil behavior. This people are them wicked, you know.
If the wicked, I mean, it's the devil personified in all of them. All of them are like that. All of them. They will tell you that nonsense and they will go home and sleep comfortable because they probably have waterbed and I think gotten illicitly. Yeah, illicitly gotten. Yeah.
Boy, you know, we in trouble, you know. This country is a serious crisis.
Serious.
And we citizens have to wake up.
Yes.
Because another situation I'm looking at too, Mr. Lennox.
Go ahead.
I see they cut some Venezuelans coming in on a boat. Yeah. About 11 of them with drugs and all kind of thing.
Right.
Right? And if down in the central area down there, these people coming in by the groups, Lennox, if we take stock of what's going on, we could be a little Venezuela very soon, you know.
Very, very soon, if we are not there already, because the video I'm showing there now is an exhumed grave. Take out the dead body, you know, and burn it instead, you know, and leave it there.
Boy, I'm watching that.
For everybody to see.
On television, you
know.
I
want them to see
it. That's a scary thing.
Want them to see it. Take note, the policewoman run when she see that harrowing, horrible, macabre, and bestial scene. Yeah, it's beasts living in Trinidad.
This one we borders open.
Yeah.
Everybody walking in Trinidad and Tobago, you understand? And then Venezuelans and them, boy, I tell you, if
and why I am playing that is because I want them to know that from all the information we have is that it's these Latinos that do their enemies that way. They do them that way. The dead, they so hate them that they will exhume them, take all the time to dig them back up and burn them, so they kill them 300 and 400 and 500 times over.
But that is real demonic behavior, boy.
If it's demonic behavior,
people have to be extremely possessed.
Rowley alone and his government expose us to that. And don't tell me all they don't know the genesis of that nonsense, you know. All they play, all they don't know. Well, let me tell all you where it come from. When Rowley sent back 82 persons on a military plane back to Venezuela.
Oh, yes. Back in 2015, I think it was 16.
Yes. He sent them back, right? And then when he did not vote in the OS, and then when he came from Chile, he made the statement that he wanted to get rid of the OAS General Secretary. Yeah. And when he went to the UN and did not condemn Maduro, and after, of course, Delcy Rodriguez came here during COVID on a sanctioned plane. Yeah. Understand that? On a sanctioned plane. And when he realized that his ass is grass, he then, of course, tried to remedy the situation as he normally would do. That is a pattern of behavior. Open up the entire country by having this so-called registration of any Tom, Dick, and Harry that could speak Spanish, and the backside who playing acting prime minister talking about this moron called Stuart Young with a megaphone outside the Oval talking English to people who can only understand Spanish. That is the level of arseness that is purporting to be government and ministers in this country. And all you don't have a concern. Well, leave it right there. Take that in all your rukung kukung kung. That is what Trinidad and Tobago is coming to.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing, and I'm going after this. Listen, quickly. Now, remember, elections is anytime soon, between now and next year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at the fact that within that period of time, the amount of things that these people and them could do to further ensure that this country is totally pauperized, right? Because of the time span. The time span is what I'm looking at. Between elections and now. Is a frightening thing, you know.
Yes, it is. It is. One day in politics, they know it's critical. So we have to be persistent. That is why we have to find mechanism, find all of the loopholes. All right, hold on, my friend. All right, partner.
Okay,
yes, indeed. We have a very lengthy conversation. Go ahead, Mr. Tagarigua. Sorry about that.
Like I had to make my voice being heard, boy.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But it was a unnecessary, what I consider to be interaction here.
Let me make your heart feel a little warm.
Go ahead.
Tonight on the news,
yes,
they interviewed a lady from Rodney Charles place, Naparima.
Yes.
And they asked her how they feel without a representative. Well, you know, he gone.
Yes.
They said, no, we ain't feeling no way out. Whoever the opposition leader send back here, what she needs to do is come and get acquainted with the people. So in other words, everybody with camera right through.
Yeah, well, I mean, even in Manzanilla, there was when the so-called bias, should I say, daily and traditional media went up there, and they couldn't find one person to not say that the parliamentary representative, who of course is part and parcel of that gang of 5. Yeah. They couldn't say one good word about him. Not one person they could find. So it is clear the die has been cast. Rowley and they are just grandstanding by, of course, having 10, I think, in the first instance, 10, and then a smaller number, I think, in the second instance, or it could be reversed. But the fact is that targeting UNC dominated constituencies, fooling themselves, illusionary, delusionary. Yeah, that's right, exactly. The 19 is secured, and we know where the remaining
but
6, 7, or 8 will come from.
But you know where the north is coming from.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, the remaining 8 will come from.
This actual coming out from in England. William?
Who's that?
London.
London, yeah. They always do that. They bring him. They brought him back for the last state election too. Yeah, they bring him back. You have one of their activists. She's always saying red beret, and because of course they cut the UNC tail in Tobago, in I think it's the 2017 elections thereabout. Or was it when Kamala and they were wrong? Whichever it is, but they felt that they were political gurus. You see, I have a difficulty with people like that who, of course, were able to capitalize and led the transformation, if you want to call that, or the defeat of one party over another at that point in time, and then they make themselves, of course, a political guru, but can't repeat the same fate in subsequent elections. You had to laugh at them. This fella, I see Gary Griffith is probably one of those. We have, of course, Lee Young, I think, the fellow who said that he managed the campaign for the NAR, but couldn't repeat the fate just 5 years later. And in the 1991 election, the NAI was decimated. Well, I forget his name, but I'll get it during the course of the program. But just saying that it is in the it is the flash or the slice of time that one has to be able to understand. And to repeat that, you have to have a similar slice of time. I think that slice of time has returned to Trinidad at this point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it was 33-3, remember, in 1986. So it appears that has returned. But in this case, the entire PNM itself appear, from what we are seeing, to implode, because you have a rapscallion, a rapist and a pedophile at the head of the affairs, who must be subjected to blue lights and silver bracelets. Go ahead, my friend. Jack, I am not surprised. I am not aware, but I'm not surprised. I expected that to be happening because he's almost free now, and he can, of course, participate. I think he will be a welcome. I can tell you, Archbishop Burke and myself, I think we can make the pronouncements. He may not want to accept it, but we have decided that we're going to talk to Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, hear what he has to say, and see whether or not we can have powerful people at the end of the day. Of course, we know what he gives, and therefore we treat every circumstance according to the deserved situation that they may find themselves in, or otherwise. Yes.
Yeah, pushing Stuart Young, that's what you talk about.
Yeah, but Stuart Young is an ass. I mean, and he had belly. He committed suicide. Nobody taking the on. You see how we talk at the Women's League as if he's some kind of charismatic buffoon. I mean, when he speaks, he doesn't sound prime ministerial. He doesn't look ministerial.
He's having a prime minister.
I mean, and his conduct, and his antecedent, his history does not any kind of PM or MP make in this country. Yeah.
Look how people let their position go to the head now.
I'm telling you. So he believes he's more than what he really is. It's nothing different to Gary and Abdullah, and of course Dukaran, and all of them end up falling by the wayside.
Yeah, look at
they also run. Yeah.
Abdullah could never get back in our parliament.
No way. The only chance he had, he blew it by believing that he's more than what he really is.
I telling you, boy.
Yeah. And that is the difficulty with these fellas.
The last fellas gone mad, you know.
Yeah, power. They say power intoxicates and make men giddy, and they also say power corrupts and make men and corrupt, and it corrupts absolutely. Well, they are all of the above.
And they're going madder and madder.
Yeah, they're going madder and madder. All right. Somebody might question your grammar, you know, because I hear it. That's right, exactly. You know, it's just with that. You see, these fellas are so stupid. They don't know that language, really and truly, in the essence of it, is that once a man understands what you're saying,
that's right.
You have delivered, you know. You have delivered the job of language. They don't understand that because they weren't taught. You see, they will stay from the ivory tower that they are sitting in, maybe home and sipping a glass, not getting their feet wet or their hands dirty, and then pronounce on others. Haul on their tail, eat your heart out. Yeah.
You know what politician fancy language skill?
Yeah.
The fellow they call Sampat Meter.
Yes.
Sampat Meter, he only talking big language, and nobody can relate to that.
Yes, exactly.
Mother, everybody can relate to that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you have a rich mix And if we are true Trinbagonians, we will have that capacity and be armed with those tools to, of course, respond to an audience or to project to an audience based on the nature of the audience. You think I would be talking generally like how I speak if I go on the ground or engage a few youths around here on George Street and Nelson Street and so on? It's a different atmosphere and a different adaptation and a different, of course, set of diction you have to generate. Yes.
Why? And when time comes to talk big language, correct English, Lennox,
yes,
I could do that.
Of course. But because it is more written now than spoken. Yeah.
Right. So I think you can see safe. After I hear that woman about the child area tonight.
Yes. Yeah. That's not the first time, they found it very difficult to have anybody confirm that he or the other one in Manzanilla will be missed.
Next one, she said, watch my UNC, and she don't do that.
Yeah. That's it. Every two persons you meet, best your bottom dollar, that same two is a UNC.
But then now you know as well as I, but we're talking big English now.
Yes.
They can't win no seat in camera area.
No, of course not. They will grandstand. Rowley's a failure, you know. Rowley first attempt at elections, he lost in Tobago, you know. But he would not want to mention that because he believes that he is a conman guru. That's how I see him, a conman guru. He will not play by the rules. Right? And of course, and will use what I consider to be amorphous and abstract symbols to pretend to be some kind of guru. Like, of course, the Likoto Jumbi thing. And of course he's a black man, and he will even exploit the cultism that some people believe the PNM is. But no, PNM is a criminal enterprise. That's what it is. A criminal enterprise populated by criminals, and the head of which is not just a criminal, but a rapist and a pedophile. Yes, Rowley, that is what you are.
I know you must talk that.
Yes.
I know you must bring in that.
Oh, of course. Can't do nothing. You have to take that.
The man so thing with himself.
Yeah.
He had a jam sometime back, and you know what he said? He said he's just a poor little black boy trying to make a living.
Yeah. He's a hustler. Hustle, his predecessor, Hustle Manning. Hustle every ministry that he went to. And now he's hustling too bad in the office of Prime Minister. Hustling. And who responsible for that? The PNM as an institution, and therefore all of them must collapse under the weight of the monolithic that they have created. Yeah. They have to. Go ahead, my friend. Yeah.
They better finish building about the house.
I take it that they didn't finish that at all.
But why they ask is grass?
Yes. That's what they try. You see, the more that they try to develop this slush fund that will, of course, be generated in order to finish as well and to have a political, or should I say a campaign, should I say vault, a campaign vault. The more they do that, it's more mistakes they will make.
Well, you see, you do bad things.
Yeah, because they will have to thief very large and in a quick time. And therefore, they are going to expose their backside. So they are really, all of them are like the proverbial ostrich, burying their head in the sand and the whole backside outside.
Outside.
Yes. Yeah, the whole torso outside. Yes. All right, my friend.
All right. We go talk with it now.
Yes, we'll talk, my friend. Yes, indeed. I want to say again, if anybody know of Heinz, I wasn't able to follow up last night and today, but I'll certainly do it tomorrow. That Heinz must communicate with the family of young Joseph Sandy, who died from a heart ailment last Friday. So he's still on ice. Yes, he's still on ice because the family cannot find the money to bury him. Yes, indeed. It means, therefore, that next Friday will be 2 weeks. He will be on ice, and that is a cost in itself. Unless, of course, the magnanimity of the funeral home is such that they will probably do it gratis, intern him gratis, or bury him gratis. I don't know. But, of course, I would like to see Heinz and the Minister of Social Development and Welfare, Donna Cox, make some kind of intervention. I'm going to give you a number to call the father so that if you have any assistance that you could provide, I will. I hope that you will be able to. You may have a connection in a funeral home or something to assist. But a pleasant good night. Welcome. Pleasant good night. Welcome.
Pleasant good night to you and everybody.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, so here what going on. Heinz, when I take your call in. Remember the last time I tell you when she tried calling him and he didn't get you?
Yeah.
No, he get you, but he didn't stay long. He hang up.
All right. I'm going to call him now as
that
you
is
told that.
one.
I'm going to call him now as you told
And
that.
two, remember what happened in Sri Lanka?
Yes.
You know, we always just be going back there, right?
Yes.
How the country went bankrupt. So just imagine Tiantec or NGC rope up a big bill from Tiantec and the Minister of Utilities, Marvelous Marva, telling the citizens that we have to help pay that bill. What that say, LENNOX? And the country, if they had the money to pay that bill, what that telling you? The country is running out of money.
Yeah.
And these people and them still don't want to come to this reality that the country is running out of money. Let me say this before I go, LENNOX.
Good, my friend.
This PNM supporter who is over 55 years, these people need to retire early in the grave. A woman traveled with my car last week, and we talking about the situation going on in the country.
Right.
Anytime they don't want to say the PNM is the problem, they want to drag the UNC into it. And I started to point out some of the things that the PNM did to the people at Trinidad and Tobago. And she started ball. No, I turned around and asked her, I say, family, you have children, you have grandchildren. I say, you ain't care about the future, your children and your grandchildren. She said, what are you telling me that for? She said, they're ready to dead. They matter fend for themselves. She said, whatever happened to them, happened to them. I done live my life already. That was the woman telling me, you know.
Yeah. Don't be surprised. I'm not surprised. Yeah, because you see, when they are confronted with the beast that is before them, they get defensive. You will hear Rowley, of course, using aggression as the best form of defense. Understand that. That is what is happening. So their conscience are pricking them. They know that they are talking arsoness. They know that their conduct will, of course, affect others, particularly those that are vulnerable and of concern to the society today, the young people, those engaged in crime and so on. But they will go down dying because of some, what I consider to be amorphous belief. A belief that has no place in contemporary Trinidad and Tobago, yet still they exist and they are part of the society. So therefore, the best we can ensure is that the majority, the vast majority, in every single constituency in this country, see the light.
Well, let me say this.
and vote for
Well,
the
let me
UNC.
say this before I go, Lennox.
Go ahead.
Let me say this before I go.
Go ahead.
I want to tell the people at Trinidad and Tobago something. You see, religion cannot save you, nor that you will make your way to heaven, you will go to hell. I heard on a program, I think the Gong report recently, where a caller had said, and I witnessed that about a year ago, where a woman tell me she cannot support Kamala because Kamala do not serve the God that she serve. And I asked her, what God that Keith Rowley serve?
And it's only Rowley will benefit from that. Only Rowley and the PNM will benefit from that kind of bigotry. Only Rowley and the PNM will benefit from that. That kind of talk. Notice that. So you know that the person is clearly sympathetic to the PNM. That's all. Because it is frankly is ass talk they're talking. Let's not waste time.
I don't know. Look on and listen.
Yes, man. Yes, my friend. Pleasant good night, of course. So welcome to the corridor from Tobago.
Yes, good night, Lennox. Tobago East calling.
Yes, man. Yes, man. We have a bumper program tonight, boy.
You know, it amazed me that some people, even though they are there to do a job and to really see things as though it is, they will try to escape from it just because they had a foot on their mouth in all kind of different things.
Yes.
Which I mean politics. Now, some time ago, about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, the ACP for Tobago, he was on a show where they was interviewing him, and he pointing out to say that the drugs coming to Tobago coming through via the cargo star.
Right.
That is not true. So in other words, he laying the blame on the Port Authority.
Right.
And not the Minister of National Security.
Right.
Right? The problem in Tobago is that the entire Tobago region borders are open as a sepulchre. So anybody could come and go anytime and drop up the drugs. They don't have to come up on the cargo star, they don't have to come up on the fast ferry.
Yes.
Because nobody will take a chance to bring up any bulk or drug on any of them boat there because they know they could be stopped. Right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Some years ago, I was walking in an area in Tobago, right? I was driving for that area, right? That is down on the Hilton there, right? And there was a boat used to be coming in there. A very mysterious boat used to be coming here at a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
In an area where nobody will be around. This is what I'm telling you. And this thing, this drug thing here happening now. It's happening a very long time now. One night, whilst I was driving that vehicle, a guy on the vehicle that I was in decided to put on the focusing light.
Right.
I used to drive for that security section down on that same area down by Hilton there. Right? And where the man, the light where them fellas have on our boat and the size of gun I see them in, boy. They looks like I duck under the dashboard.
Wow.
You know what I'm telling you? And these people, so a lot of things that are happening in Tobago is undercover.
Yes.
And a lot of these policemen and them and all them who talking know what's going on in Tobago.
Yeah.
This thing only showing up in dirty face now, you know. Yes. But this thing happening long before now. I have a nephew went to see. Like he himself caught up in that and he went to see and he never come back, you know.
Wow.
Right here in Tobago, and several of them went to see and never come back to. So this ugliness is happening in Tobago now. He knows how to show his face now. Seriously, after today, he have a murder in Tobago.
Yes, I heard that, yes.
Right? So all of them fellas I've been talking and making, and this same man here, who talking that nonsense some years ago, when he was a corporal, I remember that good. He was in a police meeting in Dalaford. At that point in time, Glenn Roche was acting commissioner of police. I stand up and I brace him with that same talk that we talk about the drugs and them coming from Trinidad coming up on the boat. I tell him, why it is that you feel somebody will bring drugs on the boat when they know they will stop them on the port? And the whole area right around Tobago is open. Then let me tell you something. Right where I live in here right now, I am living more close to the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
And let me tell you something. Why I'm living, either be here in boat up and down in the night.
Right.
And see, no fishermen, it are no fishermen around there fishing.
Right.
In the night. The fishermen do fishing in night around here.
Right.
So what the hell are they doing outside there?
Yeah,
you understand what I'm trying to
contraband, a vibrant.
There's a lot of things going on. A lot of people know what's taking place. A lot of people know what's taking place, but a lot of people just making the money off of that.
Yeah.
And just think, but at the end of the day, everybody know what's going on. Everybody, all of them just don't want to come out and say that what's going on. So you're laying the blame on somebody else. So the port ain't doing the work. That's what he's trying to say. Why he and the police and them ain't do the work?
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to make sure and do his work. If you know that's happening on the port, you find yourself and some of the officers down there and carry out search.
And that is the problem.
That has happened?
Yeah, that is an issue that I've seen very regularly, where this government has the ability to analyze well. Yeah. They can.
You know something, Lennox?
They can.
His junior.
They can diagnose, but no prescription. Philosophize, but no prescription. Don't know what the problem is. As if they separate and apart from the treasury. As if they had nothing to do with the treasury when they are philosophizing and whether they are being diagnostic. All kinds of hyperboles, all kinds of big time talk, of course, and they're talking authoritatively. And they know this one that killed this one, and they know that this one in my constituency did this and did that. And at the end of the day, you would believe that they don't have the responsibility to address that.
Let me tell you something. You know I do
that. There, you and I, but go ahead.
His junior, which is the senior superintendent here,
he
can come up and talk about what he want the people to help him identify who is the people and then who into the stupidness in Tobago. But let me tell you something, brother.
Superficial and superfluous.
What you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to come down, take off uniform and come down the road by Yonko and sit down there. Right? And let me tell you something. You'll get to know what's going on because let me tell you something. The clerk of the peace, when she want to catch them fellas and then who have outstanding warrant, you know where she does go? LENNOX?
Yeah.
She just come down the road. She does do. She just come down the road till she book in Scarborough and she'll go right by that same place I telling you about there. And block the back of the entrance and the front. She come through the front and the police will block it in the back. So when she come through, she book there, she'll say, hey, you so and so, she mark your police, lock up your backside and go on the road.
Yeah, to me.
So how come they can't do that?
No, because you have lazy, you have persons with visionless and lack of creativity, but could spend money too bad. You hear the kind of money these people spend?
Wrong talks too.
Yeah.
Yeah. These fellas are them, they need to be around on us. And Tobago is a small place.
Trinidad too.
And sit down and want something. Nobody
why
will tell you
this
all the information itself.
intractable crime situation? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, I suppose they're waiting for the UNC to come into government. I suppose because they already said that is when the UNC is in government.
Crime is a business.
Yeah.
Crime is a business in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
So they don't want to solve it.
Well, the UNC will put an end to that. I'm sure because.
Well, I mean, the UNC was trying the best, but the PN do business. They got a business.
Yeah. So they
shut
down all the boats.
The more money
they shut down all the boats. They open the borders and and invite instances like this, a most hideous act of a person being exhumed, a body, and then of course burnt at the same time. Wow.
I see that in my own eye in Venezuela.
Yeah, that is.
I see it in my own eye.
That's a message. That's a strong message.
I see a man thief from a man. And listen, when he thief on the man, he roll down the street.
Yes.
The man just call the next man and pay the man. And the man reach him a little further down the road and light him a fire.
Yeah.
Right on the street of Caracas, I see that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's
so where's the happening here? We're waiting 10 years ago in Caracas.
Yeah, that'd be gruesome. It had to be. You have to feel the pain and
so
And that's
when
a
I see
message
these
to
things
all
that
and
you talk
something.
and you show that tonight,
Yes.
my memory just go back to what I see 10 years ago in Caracas.
Yeah, but I want to jog the conscience of all of them who have encouraged that and understand that when you believe that you can support the PNM and get away from that, you don't stand a ghost of a chance. Not a ghost of a chance. You better do the right thing. And if we have to beat your mind into doing the right thing, that is where we are going.
That one where the punishing your Lennox in Venezuela is lighting your fire.
Yeah.
When you thief from them, they light your fire.
That's right. All right, my friend. Yes, thank you very much.
So you have a good night.
Same to you.
Yeah.
Yes, very interesting indeed, people. Very interesting, of course. Let me give you the number of Joseph Sandy, who is, of course, lying in a morgue in some funeral home. Let me give you that number because Heinz don't want to take it. I sent it for him. I have to check my WhatsApp to see if he read the message, but certainly he has not answered. I say we are going to call him tonight again before the program ends. But the number to call is 474. Let me call it very slow. 474-3488. 474-3488. That's the father of Joseph Sandy, a young man, 15 years of age. Not through violence, but through a medical condition. All right, I was just told that Heinz did not read my message, but I'll still call him. And if you can assist, please, because this is, it will be bestial, it will be inhumane, it will be heartless for this family not to be able to bury this young man. The experience is already traumatized, the very death traumatizing. So if you can assist, if you know someone who can assist, if you know a funeral home that may be able to do it, and they work out some arrangement with the existing funeral home, all of those are things that we can do. Those of you with the right connections, I will do my part on this side as well. I'll make some inquiries tomorrow, and I will make some overtures as well. So the number to call, of course, is 474-3488. 474-3488. Please call the father. I'm sure that he's in a poor state of health. Mentally, I'm talking about. His name is Mark Sandy. Let's take a final call before, of course, we leave here. It's already 10 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. A pleasant good night.
Hello, Lennox. Good night.
Good night to you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Any government any government in power, they're supposed to, like all the homeless who die, and they're supposed to see about that?
Yes. Not this government. This government is saying you're lucky.
So why we have to be asking them and begging them to do things where they're supposed to be doing? This is real wickedness in this country.
Yeah.
Lennox, this is real wickedness in this country.
Sure right.
The people of them have to go out and put $1 who need help when the government's supposed to be doing these things.
Yeah.
So they want everything for themselves. They want everything for themselves, Lennox.
It's about 12 or 14,000, you know. Is the funeral grant, and them refusing that, and them thieving.
Come on, they could do that.
By the billions.
There's a place in the country for that to see about these kind of people, man.
Yeah.
Get them nice build some kind of building and put all these homeless people on them. Don't have them on the streets, man.
Yeah, the displaced. Imagine the government displaced the displaced.
God, boy.
The displaced is already displaced, and them displaced.
And nobody can say,
move them out from,
can say the country didn't have money because the country had money because we're only finding money and doing shit with it.
Yeah.
What kind of shit you doing with the money? The things were not even necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, Lennox, good night.
Yes, thank you very much, of course. Hopefully that's the final call, the final caller. Once again, 474-3488. That's the father, Mr. Sandy Mark. I'm sure he will wait for any good Samaritan who can assist him in the burial. I will do my part, as I said, tomorrow, following up. But let's call Heinz before we leave. They need to be exposed. They need to understand. I'm calling Heinz because the chap is from his constituency. He's from Chumakak. Chumakak is almost in the middle of the Laventille West constituency. Maybe more appropriately, maybe the eastern 2/3 or 1/3, of the constituency. Let me put it that way, because from Passy Street right up to Chumakak. So let's say the eastern 1/3 of that constituency. The constituency begins in the eastern part from the western side of Passy Street, and then traverse all the way over Chumakak, and then of course over the hills, what we call Laventille Hills, and then of course it encompasses parts of Despelly Crescent, and then just before Piccadilly Street, it ends there, coming over the hill. And of course, we have other areas that are covered. Quite apart from the Despelly, you have Block 22 and all of that as you travel west from the eastern side, from Passy Street, come straight over the hill. So once again, the number to call Mr. Mark Sandy is 474-3488. Some good Samaritan, please. 474-3488. I know we have good people among us, so just call the father and take the family out of the what I consider to be horrendous and very cruel situation that they would have found themselves, not being able to, of course, bury their son, their loved one. 474-3488. 474-3488. Let me call Heinz and hear what he had to say. I'm sure by now somebody would have told him that Smith is asking for him, and if he can get in contact with Donna Cox, who is the Minister of Social Development, to see whether or not some kind of arrangement could be made, having regard to the fact that Mr. Mark, the father of Mark Sandy, the father of Joseph Sandy, the deceased, because of heart complications, has died since Friday last. Friday coming will be, of course, make it. I don't have to read and spell for you according to my mother. So we're going to wait until it rings out, and then, of course, we'll come to the end. All right, so he has not answered. Last time I gave you the number that I'm calling from. So if I have if you have a different number, you can send it to me. At 337-6940. 337-6940. You can send that to me, but the number I'm calling him at is 716-8451. 716-8451. Once again, 716-8451. Heinz, SOS, you are absent for your deceased constituent. Of course, that is apart from the absenteeism that is stereotypical of a PNM MP in the Laventilles. In the Laventilles, because they believe it's not already shell. When you will surprise them, when you will tell them enough is enough, it may well be on this occasion, having regard to the blatant and candid and ruthless and brutal and barbaric and ugly manner of delivering to the people, and that is nothing but they line their pockets And listen, of course, to the note that I sent him. It's not yet open. You would know that on WhatsApp, as you know. But listen to it. Honorable, this is LENNOX Smith here. I did not get the expected response from the information that I had texted to you some time ago. The whistleblower said that they didn't receive any attention or response. But I'm not to talk to you on that now. There is a very young constituent in your constituency, in fact, opposite the Ramdale basketball court. He was living. He died at age 15, he was attending, of course, the Mover Laventille Secondary School. He died last Friday. His father went to get some assistance from the Ministry of Social Development. I've been trying to get a number or in contact with Donna Cox. I've not been able to be successful. So I thought I would bring it to your attention. The father's name is Mark Sandy, MARKSANDY, and the telephone number is 474-3488, 474-3488. If you have the time and the willingness, could you just communicate with them, because they got blank at the Ministry of Social Development, and they are in a bit, not a bit, but in a total quandary. They do not have the funds to bury that young lad who unfortunately expired so young and therefore prematurely. You can send me something, or you can contact the family directly. I would really appreciate if you can use your good office to try to assist. No response, people. So the ghetto continues, of course, to deteriorate, to be destroyed under a PNM administration. Many of the ghettos created was as a consequence of the presence of the PNM. When will enough be enough? When would the collective human mass in this constituency be like the typical tiger? When you're wounded, you launch forward? Is left to be seen. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. See you tomorrow morning on the Ground Report. And see you again, of course, tomorrow night, when we will continue with these and other stories. If I got you mad tonight, meaning that if I got you further angry, if I was able to strike some kind of emotive bone in you, if I was able to have you in a state of denial, thinking that these things do not happen in Trinidad, I would have done my job. It is harrowing. It is barbaric. It is bestial. It is evil. It is Luciferous. It is the construct and the doings of the PNM. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. Bye-bye.
hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, crying, voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, voices from the ghetto. Help us, Father. Oh, Lord. Mothers does just hold their head and ball, and them woman stronger than a wall. A big pusher eyeing she daughter, son in jail for manslaughter. Too bad for he name bad boys. No bail, that's the black man's choice. Like Shadow say, poverty is hell. She little girl child belly start to swell. Some say life is a cycle, but don't draw she no circle. Where will it all end? Only time could tell. Outside the siren keep howling, inside your belly will growling. Police raid very often, Simpson measuring a coffin. One night in bed you're sleeping, next night is a wake that you're keeping. So you're praying to win the lotto, not to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 voices from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying, hear them pleading. Crying, voices from the ghetto. A hand to us, Lord. We are not a forgotten people. Hear our prayer. With dented pride, they soldier on. Revolutions, state politicians born. And often their tragic story brings a journalist glory. No wonder they view the world with scorn. From since the day they born, some call them rebels without a cause. These social victims of unjust laws, but yet they christen the heroes, renegades, desperados, forever knocking on heaven's doors. Hear me? Steel band music shatters the silence, harmony to conquer the violence. Big men run when cops approach, fighting for scraps with the cockroach. Young Turks, they're Turk protecting, almost every young girl expecting. So tomorrow begs the no borrow, there'll be another voice from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying, crying, yeah, voices from the ghetto. Crying, Pitico, mama. Crying, Pitico, papa. Crying, voices from the ghetto. Social amenities, Lord, heaven knows. Opportunities, well, them always close. Can't get work once it white collar. So if you can't stretch your dollar, it's later for you crack or smoke your pipe. You're short of dead from gripe. Life does rape dignity and pride. Till there's only bitterness left inside. And every day is a hustle. Arguments are settled with muscle. Till you're 6 feet deep by 3 feet wide. life of misery and regret. No one to come to their rescue except Capleton and Bourgeois. So they boom boxes, they let go. The drunk out voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, voices from the ghetto. Voices from the ghetto.